Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome back to Our Issues Birmingham. Today's guest, Barnett Wright, Executive Editor of Birmingham Times Media Group. He's a regular on our show. I think this is your third or fourth visit.
I think about 5 or 6. I need some kind of medal. I'm a regular here, so it's more than 3 or 4.
We don't have an award. We need an award. We need to get some kind of award going for that.
I would love it.
I bet you are close to our 165th show. You're close. You're in that range.
Well,
that's how long we've been doing that.
That's an honor.
Yeah. We haven't been booted.
Yeah. That's a good sign.
They like us.
Yeah.
Somebody likes us.
Yeah.
So Barnett covers the city. So, but when I met Barnett, he was covering Vestavia City, and I was municipal judge at that point in
That's
time,
correct.
and that's where we got to know each other.
Yeah.
And then he's moved along, and now he's was with the AL.com, which was formerly the Birmingham News, which doesn't exist anymore in the form that I grew up with.
Right.
But we're now all electronic. But the Birmingham Times, although it is electronic, also is paper.
That's right.
And he covers a lot of local politics and things of that nature. So, as you know, Jefferson County, we'll start with this, has been under a consent decree since 1902. That case is still with Judge Smith?
Yes, Judge Linwood Smith.
And he retired at least 10 years ago, but he kept this case.
Right.
It hadn't been that long, Judge, if you're listening. But he did retire some time ago.
Yes.
So what's the status of the consent decree? We're about to come out from under it, I hear?
Yeah, well, Judge Smith, one thing he said, he didn't want the case to outlive him.
I feel that way about some of my body parts.
Yeah. But you're correct. They're about to come out. They're winding this consent decree up finally. There's been a monitor in place who has overseen the hiring practices, and from all points and purposes, the county has done a fantastic job. Judge Smith recently talked about the previous commission who helped get him to this point, and this current commission will take this whole case through the finish line. So yes, within 6 months they'll be out.
Really?
Yeah.
And what, in the grand scheme of things, will be the impact of being out from under the consent decree? And maybe this is a question better left to ask somebody else, but from your perspective.
I think it shows a new day in Jefferson County. They've had all of these problems in the past. Hiring practices was one of them. And in order to put this county on the right footing, the hiring practices to make sure there was equality across the board from a human resources perspective, that all potential candidates for jobs had an equal opportunity to get them, that's now in place. That's a huge impact for this county.
So, and everyone is satisfied that without the ever-present thumb of Judge Smith, that will not drift back to what caused it to get put in place to begin with.
I can't see that. After this long a period of time, I think there'll be enough measures to make sure that doesn't happen. And I really think the leadership at Jefferson County is a lot smarter than that. They know what they have been through. And to be under that thumb for 3-4 decades,
wow,
nobody wants to go back there.
Wow, that's just amazing.
Yeah.
So what else you covering at the Birmingham Times lately? I know we've got... I know it seems like an eternity away, but we do have a mayor that's going to be opposed in an election coming up.
Yeah, the next mayoral election is in 2021. And, it's never too early to run for elected office. Mayor Woodfin is at the halfway point right now, and there are people who are looking at it, studying it, seeing if they're going to run. And I will probably break news on your show. Already, I think one person has already declared is Stephen Hoyt.
Oh, really?
The Birmingham City Councilman.
Current council person.
That's right. He will be running. And there's some other names out there, including...
you heard it here first.
Yeah. And what I've heard is that there's a potential that former Mayor Bell may also be considering.
Trying to make a comeback?
Trying to make a comeback. And one persistent question Jefferson County Commissioner LaShonda Scales has been getting: are you running?
Hmm. I've heard that rumor myself.
Yeah.
Um, in terms of what the public feedback has been on Mayor Woodfin's halfway point, what are you hearing?
It depends on who you talk to. Um, he has brought a fresh approach, fresh look to the city. He certainly reached out and touched a segment, the millennials, the creatives, that hadn't received attention before. Along those lines, it's very popular. There's still some who are concerned about the stadium,
The new
the
stadium.
new stadium, Tommy, because they hadn't heard that going into his campaign when he was running the first time.
I
And
thought they had broken ground.
well, no, I'm talking about as far as when he was campaigning for the office.
Hmm.
He was talking about the 99 neighborhoods.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So, but then all of a sudden he talked about the stadium. Not that that's a bad thing, but those are some of the concerns that his challenges may be bringing up.
The 99 neighborhoods.
Yeah. Well, some people in the 99 neighborhoods said, are you spending as much attention on the neighborhoods, or are you as you are on the stadium?
You know, um, just from my own perspective, and I think this is not just in Birmingham, but gee whiz, things move so slow. I- Is that what you feel when you're trying to? Maybe we should wait till we come back from break, but
Okay.
it just seems like it takes forever to move something from A to B,
Right.
whether it's the stadium or one of the 99 neighborhoods or the demolition of houses, although he's done a tremendous large number of demolition of houses.
Yeah.
But it's just a slow go process.
I have a long answer. Maybe we need to wait till after the break.
Oh, yeah, I want to hear it. Don't go away. We'll be right back with the answer to why does government move like a glacier? Welcome back to Our Issues Birmingham. I'm Tommy Spina. I'm talking to Barnett Wright. I asked him a question just before break, and he took a long, deep breath and said maybe we should wait before I answer. So, why does it move so slow?
I'll try and condense it.
And does it move slow? Is it moving slow, or is that just my perception?
I think because of some of the due diligence period, um, and I will use this as an example since we're talking about government. Now, Jefferson County is about to have a healthcare authority for Cooper Green Mercy Health Services, and this had been one of the um, objectives for the new commission when they came in 2010, right? So we're in 2020 right now, all right. And one of the things that they had to do was, first of all, downsize Cooper Green Mercy Hospital, and then it put in place a healthcare authority. That's taken some time, right? So you have to have the right people on the board. You have to have due diligence, and this will surprise you. You have a lot of lawyers involved.
Yeah.
So
Shakespeare was complimenting us when he said if it weren't, we should kill all the lawyers. Because if it weren't for lawyers, we wouldn't need lawyers. That's always been my philosophy. But
well, yeah,
we're a necessary piece of trying to interpret what goes on in Montgomery.
I never agreed with everything Shakespeare said. Okay,
You didn't?
No.
Well, you want me to tell you what he said that's the most important?
What is the most important?
Expectation is the source of all unhappiness. Now, there's some truth to that.
Yeah. Well, I said I agree with everything he said. Now there were some things that
We digress.
we digress.
Back to Mercy.
Back to Cooper Green. But the problem is that you have to do a due diligence period, because when you're dealing with these kinds of issues, right, you have to cross all the T's, right, dot all the I's. There's so much involved with it. And that's one of the reasons why it takes time. And you also have to remember this is Jefferson County, and this is what we were talking about specifically. The first misstep that's had in Jefferson County, they're going to be in court.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have to be extra vigilant when you're looking at projects, when you're looking at initiatives in Jefferson County. And they made mistakes in the past, right? They rushed it, okay?
Hmm.
And it's caused problems from a financial perspective, from other areas, legal perspective.
Um, Comparing that, speaking of moving and making mistakes, we've got a seat open on the Birmingham Waterworks Board.
Right,
There's a classic example. It's been vacant now in light of Miss Lewis's conviction,
right.
uh, close to a month, I
Yeah.
think, 2 months probably. Um, and we, as of this taping, don't have a replacement yet.
Yeah.
What's the buzz on the street about what's going on up there? Because that's
Remember,
rate. Just recently, it was released that there was going to be a rate increase.
yeah,
Just recently, it was released that we're close to $1 billion of debt.
yeah.
Um,
Well, let's, looking at the water board, debt at the water board, that's really nothing new. I mean, they've always been in debt, right?
well, the government on a federal level, I think, is at about $22 trillion in debt.
Right. And the water board, they're borrowing money to fix all of these for operational issues, is what they say, right? They
Well,
have,
I think they've made progress in fixing the
right.
operational issues.
But that costs money, right?
Yeah.
So you have to borrow the money to make some of those fixes. Then also you have to have the rates, right? You have to have the customers pay to finance those type of things. Not to defend them, but they've been going up. And here's something: they've probably going up more than the county has. If you look at the rate increases over the long period of time, I think you would see that the Waterworks Board probably has gone up as much as, or not more than, Jefferson County. Now, to go back to your question about the seat on the board, this is a very important seat because this could be a swing vote, right? You look at it's divided now where you have the city's appointees, and because of new legislation, right, it's been expanded. So you have seats from outside Birmingham. So now, with you,
Well, also you have 65% of the consumers of the water are outside of Birmingham.
right,
I
but
think that's an accurate number.
yeah, yeah, I think so also. But
And you have some legislators who are trying to push some legislation to increase or to diminish Birmingham's city's presence on the board.
and I think what you're referring to is they want to expand it more,
Mhm.
right? So it would be almost a super majority of directors on the board
That are not Birmingham
that are
people.
not Birmingham. You're absolutely right about that.
And when we say Birmingham, we're not talking about Greater Jefferson County. We're talking about the city of Birmingham.
Right. And there was one time when the city of Birmingham, they had 5 seats, they had the majority of the seats, and they had the majority of the say. And this is why, to your question, why who fills the seat where they're from. Now, I think it's Mayor Woodfin has this appointment.
Right.
So, but this person right now in the board, as presently constituted, okay, could be a swing vote.
Swing in what way?
And whether or not they will swing with the members who are from Birmingham
Ah,
or the members who are outside of Birmingham, representing that 65% that you talked about.
have you attended any board meetings since
I have not been at any board meetings
lately?
lately. That's no.
I just wondered if there had been any, in light of the vacant seat, if there had been any noticeable changes or inability to accomplish things. Or
I don't think so. They passed the budget in December, and I think, well, I'm sorry, November. So they passed the budget, and I don't think that the lack of the vacancy had any impact on them passing the budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break and wrap up in just a minute.
Okay.
So hang with me.
All right.
This is Our Issues Birmingham. I'm Tommy Spina with Barnett Wright. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Our Issues Birmingham. Speaking with Barnett Wright regarding a variety of issues involving government mostly.
Yes.
Let's talk about the World Games.
Okay.
We have the World Games coming in 2021.
That's correct.
Which will be here before you know it.
Right.
Because we're already in 2020.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the buzz going on about that? And will the stadium be finished by then? Will Legion Field be utilized for the World Games? Will money be spent on Legion Field to refurbish it
Mm-hmm.
yet again?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Let me try to take
Give
those.
me your thoughts.
Let me try to take them one at a time.
That
Okay.
would be the best idea.
The World Games, that's huge for
I
Birmingham.
don't think people appreciate the magnitude of its hugeness,
Not yet.
not to quote
Yeah.
any other of our leaders in the country.
But I think as we get closer, I think people realize it. When you have all of these athletes from around the world at these different venues, right? In Birmingham, Alabama, which may have been something you never considered a few years ago. And to have this as a melting pot, to have all these athletes and all these events, all these different venues, right, from one end of the city to the other end. I think some maybe Oak Mountain State Park, and just unifying
Well,
all this is huge.
let me ask a question just for clarification. What distinguishes the World Games from the Olympics?
Right. These are these are events that you don't have in the Olympics, right?
You
So
mean the actual the
the
games?
games. I mean, the competition, right?
So World Game activities are different than Olympic activities.
Right.
What types of games? You mentioned frisbee.
Right.
Beyond that, what do we have?
Well, you do things like martial arts, handball, canoe,
Dance.
gymnastics, probably some dance. So those are just among others.
Hmm.
I think these athletes train. They train hard. I mean, and frisbee throwing
It's
is
still
is as important to them as something like track and field. Okay. You have people from around the world coming here to Birmingham, so I think that's great. Um, that says a lot, right, in itself. As far as the new stadium, I don't think the new stadium will be ready for the World Games, which brings us to Legion Field. I believe the opening ceremonies will be at Legion Field. And there may need to be, well, not may need to be, there will be some upgrades. Uh,
has to be.
has to be. It has to be um, for the opening ceremony. I mean, you want to put your best on display, right? It's like when you're inviting guests over to your house.
Hmm.
You want to spruce it up a little bit.
Right.
Okay, so Legion Field will be the site of the opening ceremonies, um, and what
And it'll bring Birmingham to national attention, if
absolutely,
not world attention.
absolutely, well, world attention, right? I mean, both. So,
Hmm.
and I think the city's getting ready for it. And as a transplant here, Tommy, from Philadelphia to Birmingham, I will say that for me and my family, this is one of the great cities. And we talk about as far as people are concerned, as far as direction that we're trying to go in. And I think what the visitors will see when they come here for the World Games that this is not the Birmingham that they've been reading about or they've seen about in the past.
Hmm. Um, is there opposition to spending more money at Legion Field in light of the? I mean, it's a shame the new stadium can't be up and running by then,
Yeah.
but that's just the way it is, I
There's
suppose.
always opposition to spending money, regardless of what it is. Well, for most things.
Hmm.
Um, and,
Except at my house.
and
Sorry,
welcome to my world.
John.
But there's some opposition. I mean, what do you do with it? Are there other things that money could be used for? Right? Do you spend money on Legion Field, or do you spend it
In the
in the
neighborhoods.
neighborhoods? Do you demolish more houses? Right? Do you pave more streets? It's the same conversation that we've had anytime you're talking about government spending money.
Hmm. I know we have certainly boosted our hotel room rate. Uh, I see hotels opening up
Hotels
all over the place.
hotels opening up, you see more offerings, right, as far as amenities, and by that I mean restaurants. You see a lot of different places that people can go, a lot of different things people can do. This is a world class city as far as restaurants are concerned. I think you'll see more dining options coming to Birmingham over the next several months as we lead up to the 2021 World Games.
Um, what else do you see as real critical issues going on in the greater Birmingham area as we get ready to close out?
I think the biggest challenge that the Birmingham has is one of perception. We just talked about that. Just get people not thinking about Birmingham as it used to be, Tommy, in the way that it is. I think the perception is the biggest challenge.
Yeah. Well, while we're there, I'm going to give you an opportunity to plug your book. How's the book going?
It depends. The book came out
It's
in
like people ask me about the wine business. How's it going?
it
It's steady.
yeah, it came out in 2013. So it came out in the 50th anniversary of the Civil Rights marches, which was 2013. And we're talking about looking forward. So in 2023 it'll be the 60th anniversary. So I'm gonna try and give, maybe I do a new edition, new forward to that book.
Tell us the name of it again.
It's 1963: How Birmingham Changed Alabama and the World.
Barnett, God bless you. Thank you for being with us.
Always good talking to you.
Yes.
Okay.
This is Our Issues Birmingham. We'll see you next week.
They gave me Vicodin after my knee surgery. I didn't know it would be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. Talk with your doctor to create a treatment plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
I adopted Bento from a shelter, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.